Thank you for your time. Each subscription is a sign of support that I truly appreciate.
September 10th, 1813. Britain rules the Great Lakes absolutely. Warships carry ammunition, soldiers, supplies through unreachable American waterways. Control the lake, control the frontier. One young commander challenges this imperial dominion. His name, Oliver Hazard Perry. His mission, impossible victory. British stranglehold tightens across Western territories. Every fort depends on Lake Erie's waters. Remove the lake's protection, Dominion collapses. American settlements suffocate under naval supremacy. Settlers abandon cabins. Soldiers stall. Western expansion halts, waiting. Waiting for someone brave enough to act decisively. Oliver Hazard Perry inherited his father's defiance. Commodore Christopher fought the revolution. Brother Matthew would open Japan to American ships. The Perry family rejected limits, destroyed them utterly. Oliver followed family tradition, challenging empires and winning spectacularly against impossible odds. March 18, 113, Perry arrives at Presque Isle, Pennsylvania. Population, 400 souls. Infrastructure, nothing. British Navy, everywhere. His assignment? To build an entire warship squadron before autumn arrives. Superiors declare it impossible. Perry smiles. He thrives constructing impossible things. Perry's father lost USS Revenge in a terrible winter squall. Perry saved every crew member, but carried crushing guilt. Age 28, Perry bears this trauma like ballast. He will not lose ships, not on his watch. Determination becomes obsession. Obsession becomes legacy. Presque Isle Bay holds nature's perfect fortress. A sandbar guards the entrance completely. Only experienced pilots navigate treacherous channels safely. British warships outside cannot cross without certain destruction. Perry's chosen battleground protects construction like wooden fortress walls. Geography becomes strategy naturally. Legend records it. Dan Dobbins, local pilot, fells the first tree, himself. Massive black oak, ancient beyond counting. Its fall echoes symbolically. One man, one decisive action, challenging empire. Within days, forest erupts in violence. Axes splitting wood, saws screaming, mallets driving relentlessly. Noah Brown, master shipwright from New York, arrives in bitter winter. Philadelphia craftsmen follow, traveling for weeks through Pennsylvania wilderness. These men understand their brutal mission. Construct temporary warships for one battle, then fade from history. They work relentlessly or starve. Winter, 1813. Ravages workers mercilessly. Fingers freeze to tools. Frostbite blackens flesh. Men collapse from pneumonia. Perry walks unflinching, demanding speed while accepting no excuses. His men hate him. They follow him anyway. Paradox of leadership under impossible circumstances. 19-pound cannons travel from Georgetown, Maryland, 130 miles through wilderness. Keelboats navigate treacherous Allegheny, river and French Creek, channels barely accommodating passage. Supply chains break, horses collapse, men abandon effort. Still, cannons arrive. Still, Perry drives forward relentlessly. Perry's younger brother Matthew already commands respect in the Navy deeply. Every completed ship, every received cannon, every enlisted sailor measured against familial expectation. Perry builds more than warships. He constructs his legacy, vindication, answer to generational expectations. Weight presses harder each day. Rope arrives from New York, timber from Pennsylvania's forests, cannon from Georgetown's foundries. Each supply train, a gamble against winter, distance, British interference. One delayed shipment means failure. Perry coordinates impossible logistics through sheer willpower. Chaos becomes symphony. Disorder transforms into fleet. July arrives. USS Lawrence and Niagara must exit Presque Isle. Sandbar blocks them completely. Solution: remove guns, attach floating pontoons beneath. Hulls, pump water, lift over. British observers watch helplessly from beyond shoals, powerless to interrupt Perry's audacious engineering feat. Jesse Elliott returns with 100 additional sailors and ammunition. Elliot previously captured British ships through daring night action, now commanding USS Niagara. But Elliot wanted supreme command. He believes Perry lacks experience, courage, tactical sophistication. Resentment festers beneath professional courtesy. Perry commissions Margaret Forster Stewart to create a battle flag. On deep blue cloth, she stitches, "Don't give up the ship." These words belonged to Captain James Lawrence, Perry's friend, mortally wounded aboard USS Chesapeake in June. Lawrence died. Perry survives. Flag transforms grief. Perry names his flagship USS Lawrence, honoring dead captain profoundly. This decision carries profound meaning. Lawrence embodied naval honor, duty unto death, refusal to surrender. Perry wears commitment publicly through ship's name. Every order issued carries martyrdom weight. Crew understands, surrender isn't mentioned. Captain Robert Harriet Barclay faces catastrophe across the lake. One-armed Trafalgar veteran, commanding undermanned squadron with insufficient supplies. He faces Perry's growing fleet steadily. Barclay possessed tactical brilliance but lacked resources. Empire's bureaucracy abandoned him completely. Defeat seems mathematically inevitable. Barclay requests sailors repeatedly. Requests denied systematically. He needs supplies urgently. Supplies unavailable. He commands 440 men against Perry's 532. Worse, Perry's carronades devastate at close range decisively. Barclay calculates defeat's cold mathematics. He fights anyway. This is British honor. July finds Barclay establishing blockade at Presque Isle, trapping American ships. 10 days pass. Supply problems force abandonment reluctantly. Perry launches successfully. British advantage vanishes. Completely. Initiative, precious military commodity, transfers to Perry's hands. Timing becomes destiny itself. August 25th and September 1st. Perry reconnoiters British position near Malden. He observes Barclay's ships carefully. He judges readiness, measures morale, evaluates firepower. They're prepared, but not confident. Perry turns away, choosing his moment deliberately. Patience becomes a deadlier weapon. 7 o'clock morning. Perry's squadron departs Put-in-Bay. Wind remains light and unpredictable. Neither the westerly gale Barclay prayed for, nor the flat calm Perry demanded. Nature offers no advantage. Both commanders know. Skill and courage will decide this. Determination becomes the only certainty. Perry's crew includes civilians, merchant sailors, Kentucky riflemen lent by General Harrison. They've never sailed together previously. They know Perry only through whispered reputation. He transforms civilians into fighters in 90 days. Trust must be earned. Discipline demands absoluteness. Fear becomes power. Perry walks through ship decks, addressing men individually by their names. He issues double rum rations. He orders sand scattered across decks, absorbent for blood. He anticipates deaths, yet refuses to fear them. His confidence becomes contagious disease spreading. Men follow him into death. Perry and Elliot meet privately. Words are exchanged quietly but intensely. Elliot wants command. Perry possesses it. Elliot achieved fame. Perry receives favored position. Inequality burns internally. Elliot follows orders but harbors resentment like a festering wound. When battle comes, tension determines everything. September 9th arrives. Perry's fleet rests at Put-in-Bay. Tomorrow decides everything absolutely. Perry writes letters, checks weapons, studies wind patterns carefully. His hands remain steady. His mind stays calm. He's prepared every controllable detail humanly possible. Fortune judges now. Dawn, September 10th. American lookout spots 6 British vessels northwest. Perry receives report and nods once decisively. This moment defines everything he's constructed laboriously. He orders fleet to stations. Men move with purpose. They understand what approaches. No turning back exists. Barclay arranges his weakened squadron with tactical precision. HMS Detroit flagship with 19 guns leading. HMS Queen Charlotte with 17 following. Smaller vessels trailing behind. The formation is flawless, professional, sound, everything a seasoned officer could achieve with insufficient resources. Yet, Tactical perfection cannot overcome Perry's audacious will. British hold weather gauge, wind position advantage completely. With winds at their backs, they attack at range while remaining distant from Perry's deadly carronades. Barclay grasps this advantage momentarily. Nature grants temporary superiority, but temporary advantages collapse against determined assault. Hours pass. Closing distance feels agonizingly eternal throughout. Light wind pushes American fleet forward with excruciating slowness persistently. Perry stands on Lawrence's deck, watching British line enlarge gradually. Gunners stand ready. Surgeons prepare instruments below. Chaplains whisper final prayers. Tension becomes unbearable. 11:45 hours. HMS Detroit's cannon fires, testing range, declaring intent clearly. 24-pound cannonball punches through air and water near Lawrence's bow. Shot signals battle's beginning. All hesitation ends now. Everything Perry built, prepared, dreamed, faces British naval tradition. Second British shot proves devastatingly accurate. It penetrates Lawrence's bulwarks with shattering force. Flying splinters become deadly shrapnel instantly. Several sailors fall immediately, bodies crumpling on blood-beginning deck. Perry remains standing, unmoving, watching flagship absorb punishment silently. He refuses to flinch. Wind holds Perry's fleet at too great distance. For carronade effectiveness completely, Lawrence's gunners endure concentrated British fire while returning inaccurate shots uselessly. This is agony, receiving punishment without inflicting proportional damage. Mathematical disadvantage torments disciplined sailors relentlessly. They demand forward movement. Lawrence takes repeated hits relentlessly. Rigging collapses like a dying victim. Hull splinters exposing interior. Water rushes inboard rapidly. Deck becomes covered in blood and torn human flesh completely. Men scream, men pray, men die. Yet Perry refuses surrender adamantly. 12:45 hours. Lawrence reaches carronade range finally. Massive short-range weapons unleash devastating broadsides. Concussions knock men backward. Cannonballs fly with tremendous force toward British line. Americans give as much as they receive. Brutal symmetry establishes which crew breaks first. Elliott commands USS Niagara, but maintains distance from battle's center deliberately. His long-range guns fire occasionally without closing to carronade range. USS Caledonia blocks his path partially. Elliott remains frustrated, unable or unwilling to act decisively. Hesitation accumulates dangerously. Lawrence's crew cries out desperately, "Where is Niagara? Where is Elliott?" Question carries raw emotional weight. They're dying. Their flagship sinks. Promised reinforcement never comes. Doubt enters brave men's minds like poison. They question whether anyone will save them. 2:30 afternoon. Lawrence has suffered catastrophic damage completely. Every starboard gun disabled. 4 of every 5 men either killed or wounded. Flag still flies, but ship dies slowly. Perry faces grim mathematics. Continue fighting, losing everyone, or surrender. British, seeing Lawrence's condition, send a small boat toward American flagship. They expect surrender completely. Approaching boat symbolizes defeat. Enemy offering mercy. Victory assured. But Perry didn't sail to Lake Erie to surrender. He came conquering. He refuses British offer silently, absolutely. Perry pulls down battle flag. Words "don't give up the ship" remain clearly visible. Perry holds it carefully, reverently, like a sacred relic. This flag represents more than victory. It represents refusal to accept defeat, regardless of cost. Flag becomes his commitment visible. Symbol transcends cloth. Perry enters a small boat with 4 unwounded oarsmen, distance to USS Niagara, half-mile through active combat. British ships fire at approaching boat. American ships fire back, protecting commander. Perry stands in boat, flag draped across shoulders like cape. Water erupts around small boat. Cannonballs strike nearby with tremendous force, sending spray. Rowers beg Perry to sit down, present smaller target. He obliges partially, remains clearly visible enough for enemy recognition. Rowboat becomes iconic image. Commander refusing surrender. Rowboat reaches USS Niagara. Sailors help Perry aboard, fresh. Warship. His uniform soaked. His eyes burn with purpose. Crew of Niagara, many untested previously, suddenly understand. Commander hasn't surrendered. Neither will they. Perry's physical presence transforms despair into determination instantly. Jesse Elliott acknowledges Perry's arrival and relinquishes command formally. Perry raises battle flag aboard USS Niagara. Symbolism completes perfectly. Flag flying over dying ship now flies over fully armed vessel. Perry performs miracle. Resurrection through will alone. Crew feels it viscerally. Perry orders every gun double-shotted, 2 cannonballs instead of 1. This increases damage at close range, but reduces effective range significantly. Perry abandons long-distance strategy completely. He wants close engagement now. Destroy British completely. No mercy, no hesitation, annihilation. USS Niagara surges forward with full canvas deployed brilliantly. Every gun ready, crews standing, loading, standing by. Perry commits to audacious strategy. Drive fresh ship directly at enemy formation, breaking their line through sheer violence. Carronade fire decides everything absolutely. USS Niagara's guns blaze simultaneously into multiple British vessels devastatingly. Starboard guns fire into HMS Chippewa, Lady Prevost, Little Belt. Port guns simultaneously fire into Detroit, Queen Charlotte, Hunter. Concentrated devastation overwhelms British crews. Ships defenseless against simultaneous assault. British ships attempt evasion. Maneuver brings HMS Detroit and HMS Queen Charlotte into direct collision. They become entangled, unable to maneuver independently. They transform into floating targets locked together by accident. Their separate destruction becomes simultaneous. Their fates intertwine irreversibly. Queen Charlotte's commander sees no possibility of survival. He strikes flag. First British ship surrenders. Other British officers recognize signal. Battle is lost completely. Surrender becomes not dishonor, but necessity. Cascade begins. British dominion crumbles. Resistance becomes futile. Surrender spreads. HMS Detroit, Barclay's flagship, absorbs devastating fire from USS Niagara relentlessly. All masts fall or become damaged beyond repair. Every gun disabled. Crew decimated completely. Lieutenant Inglis recognizes no other British ship supports Detroit. He strikes flag rather than allow annihilation. Battle ends around 3 o'clock. Approximately 3 hours of continuous combat. Thousands of cannonballs fired. Hundreds of men killed or wounded. One entire British naval squadron captured. Smoke clears, revealing victory's magnitude. American crews emerge dazed, surviving impossible odds, victorious beyond expectation. British officers row toward USS Niagara, surrendering formally. They come representing defeated nation, acknowledging superior skill and determination. Naval tradition's courtesy persists even in defeat. Perry receives them with dignity befitting brave men. Ceremony transforms victory into honor, shared. Perry rows back to damage USS Lawrence to accept British capitulation. His choice resonates powerfully throughout generations. Accept surrender aboard ship his crew died defending. Symbolism completes perfectly. Remember sacrifice. Witness what it purchased. Lawrence remains victory's flagship. Platform becomes immortal. Perry writes his official report to General William Henry Harrison. His words are deliberately understated. We have met the enemy and they are ours. 2 ships, 2 brigs, 1 schooner, and 1 sloop. Simple words echo through American history eternally. 23 Americans died, 96 were wounded, British casualties, 41 killed, 94 wounded. Captain Barclay counted among wounded, remaining arm injured, part of thigh cut away. Victory's price paid in blood. Neither side escaped unscathed. Neither side questions cost now. A single battle changed everything fundamentally. British supply lines to upper. Canada severed completely. Fort Detroit, isolated and abandoned, falls to American forces. Indian Confederation of Tecumseh, dependent on British support, fragments. American victory on Lake Erie shifts power across entire frontier instantly. Within weeks, British forces evacuate Detroit and retreat northward into Canada. Without Lake Erie control, supplying Western garrisons becomes impossible. American forces transform from defensive to offensive operations rapidly. Entire Western theater of war shifts decisively in Perry's favor. Empire retreats. Perry meets General William Henry Harrison, establishing partnership. Together, they pursue British forces and Native American allies into Canada. They culminate at the Battle of Thames, where Tecumseh dies and Confederation shatters. Their combined command becomes legendary in American military history. Perry's image is immortalized in paintings and engravings repeatedly. Young commander carrying flag through enemy fire becomes iconic. American symbol, magazines, newspapers, broadsheets spread story nationally. Perry transforms from military officer into national legend through artistic reproduction. Victory transcends history. Jesse Elliott spends decades defending his actions. He writes letters, delivers speeches, engages historians. Congress awards gold medal alongside Perry, with controversy never fully resolving. Hesitation during critical moments defines his legacy permanently. Doubt shadows his achievement. History judges Elliott harshly. Military court-martial examines Barclay's conduct thoroughly. Court recognizes inadequate men and supplies by superiors. His decision to fight despite disadvantages deemed justified. Barclay exonerated, remains in command without promotion. Vindication brings limited consolation to professional officer accepting blame. Honor partially restored. The battle flag that flew from USS Lawrence is preserved in Naval Academy Museum. Replicas are displayed in Memorial Hall where Navy officers walk past regularly. 5 words become eternal military doctrine, inspiring generations continuously. Flag transcends cloth completely. Words inspire forever. Symbol immortal. Perry continues serving in the Navy after 1813. Commands ships in Mediterranean, engages in diplomatic missions to Africa and South America. Yet Lake Erie defines him completely. Everything afterward measured against one September day. Perry becomes prisoner of glory eternally. A monument is erected at Put-in-Bay commemorating Perry's victory. 352 feet tall, dominates landscape, visible for miles. Monument stands permanent witness to ordinary sailors' sacrifice and extraordinary commander's determination. Stone preserves what memory might forget. History becomes architecture forever. Perry's victory teaches eternal paradox. Courage overcomes superior circumstances. He arrived with no fleet, built one through will. He inherited untested crews, forged as warriors. He faced professional officers commanding sovereign navy, defeated them completely. One American commander proved young nation challenges empires. Don't give up the ship. Never surrender. Never accept defeat as destiny. Victory belongs exclusively to those refusing the temptation of surrender. Perry's Lake. Erie transformed American history completely. His name became synonymous with determination itself. Battle echoes through centuries eternally, forever unchanged.